Before I do start this video, I quickly do want to speak about Xavi Simons because many have been asking what is the latest regarding this player. You talked about him a few days ago. Is there any brand new news? Because as we all know, he's a great talent. Barcelona used to have the player, but he left 5 to 6 years ago. And seeing him today, Xavi Simons is one of the best talents out there in Europe, alongside with players like Musiala and Florian Wirtz. In 41 games, he has 9 goals and has provided 13 assists. And so of course, when we talk about Barcelona wanting to strengthen their left-wing position, Xavi Simons could be a solution. So it says here, according to Sport, that Xavi Simons is a player Xavi Hernandez really does like. The coach is also aware about how the player would be open to returning if an opportunity ever arises. However, this would be a very complicated operation. And the reason why it would be complicated is because, point number 1, he's going to be costing around 80 million euros. And point number 2, we are going to have to negotiate with PSG, which is never easy. And so of course, Barcelona are going to be assessing all options, but under their own conditions and under their own orders, meaning that they're going to prioritize a CDM first, right? In other words, a pivot. Once they do sign a pivot, then they will go for signing Cancelo. After Cancelo, they will go for Silva. After Silva, then they will ask, okay, do we have any more room to sign other players? Do we have the financial capabilities? And who could we afford? And that is where I believe Xavi Simons is going to come up. He is going to be seen as like a 4th or 5th reinforcement for the squad. But the most important thing is to sign a pivot first, permanently sign Joao Cancelo, and then go for Bernardo Silva. So now moving on towards the main conversation for today, and I do want to speak about the match between Barcelona and Girona. Girona is going to be hosting FC Barcelona. This is almost like a final, I would say, because whoever comes out as the winner in this game is going to go into second place. Girona is in 3rd, Barcelona is in 2nd, and the point difference between these two teams is 2 points. And the reason why a club would want to be in 2nd place in La Liga is because you're going to be having the opportunity to compete for the Spanish Super Cup. Both teams are going to want to win the Spanish Super Cup and to participate in that tournament. Barcelona and Girona have huge ambitions, and it's important to win a title like that, right? I know many assume that the Spanish Super Cup is a small title. It doesn't matter, but if you win a title in the middle of the season, which always takes place in January, can you imagine a team winning a title mid-season and then going on into the Champions League believing that they can do much more? That is why it's very important, because right after the Spanish Super Cup does take place, the group stages for the Champions League does start. Girona and Barcelona are going to want that type of momentum. Girona are going to want this mainly because it has never been done before, and Barcelona obviously are going to want this because it is their standards. So I expect this match to be very intense, a lot of goals, a lot of pressing. The stadium is going to be loud. It will be very difficult, and so Barcelona must do the best they can to achieve the 3 points total. As for the upcoming matches for both Girona and Barcelona, you can see that Barcelona are going to be facing Real Sociedad, Almeria, Rayo Vallecano, and Sevilla, and then Girona are going to be playing Alaves, Villarreal, Valencia, and Granada right after they do face against one another. Clearly, Girona do have 2 heavyweights in their upcoming matches, which is Villarreal and Valencia. Barcelona only really have one, which is Real Sociedad. So clearly you can see that Barcelona do have a higher chance of staying in 2nd place compared to Girona, and that's if Barcelona do defeat Girona. But here's the thing, strangely, even though Girona is in 3rd place and they're doing well for themselves, Girona really dropped this year. Like, they started off so well in the first 4 to 5 months of the season, but ever since January came and we started this new year, Girona really fell off in a very bad way. They could have been in a much better position today. They probably could have been in 1st place, but they lost 3-2 to Mallorca. They lost 4-0 to Real Madrid. They lost 3-2 to Athletic Club. They lost 1-0 to Mallorca, 1-0 again, a loss to Getafe, and then a 3-1 loss to Atletico Madrid. Before this spell that they had, right, like all of these losses, the previous games after that, they have either won them or tied them. They have only lost once, and that was against Real Madrid, which ended up 3-0, and that is why Girona were going through a really good spell throughout those times. But lately, they have not been at their very best. I don't know if this has something to do with their physical issues. Maybe it's a burnout. Maybe the coach is running out of ideas. Maybe it's bad luck, or it could be a mix between all of those things. So as a Barcelona fan, it is great to see that Barcelona might catch Girona in one of their worst moments, and Barcelona have to capitalize off of that. It makes you really appreciate what Bayer Leverkusen have done, because Bayer Leverkusen were very much in a similar situation to Girona. They had a great start in the beginning of the season. They seemed very unbeatable. They were playing amazing attacking football. Bayer Leverkusen were able to complete the goal all the way through, and also by winning the league. Girona unfortunately dropped off. And you know what's so funny? Like, the fact that Girona dropped off this year, no one said a word. No one talked about their downfall. But the moment Barcelona had a bad spell in this year, it was like the end of the world, and everybody did the best they can to make sure that they put fire inside the club. It's strange, right? Many might say, but Kevin, you're doing this just to bring in the victim mentality. No, I It's not a victim mentality. It's all called reality, right? Because I'm not making anything up. Like, go look at the amount of reports or negative reports that Girona have received after going through this bad spell. There's nothing. But with Barcelona, there's a lot. There is everything. You would see every bad report going up against FC Barcelona. But besides that, when we compare Barcelona's strikers with Girona, you can clearly see that Lewandowski is in great competition with Davbeek. Davbeek has been not only Girona's best striker, but La Liga's best striker. Davbeek is at number 1 when it comes to goals. He has a total of 19 goals for Girona, while Lewandowski has 16. So there is a 3-goal margin. Can you imagine if Lewandowski ends up scoring 4 goals in this match against Girona? That would be so amazing. But besides that, Lewandowski has more assists than Davbeek. So clearly, one of the players that Barcelona have to be very careful of is going to be this striker here, the 26-year-old Ukrainian number 9. As for the players who have the best assist rate, Rafinha is number 1 for Barcelona with a total of 9 assists. Savio has 8. In terms of who has the most chances created, Savio is beating Rafinha, with Savio creating 41 chances so far and Rafinha creating 37. So it's like the battle of the wingers, right? Let's see who can come out on top. So Xavi Hernandez had a huge press conference, like a huge one, and he was talking about how he feels in this match, the expectations, and how the pressure does differ between playing at Girona and playing at FC Barcelona. It's going to be a huge statement, and so I'm going to read exactly what he said, and so stick with me here. This is what Xavi had to say. This will be a vital match. Their confidence is through the roof. We must congratulate them. Their season is magnificent. This is a Girona of champions. It will be a very intense match. They have a lot of mobility in their square, a fantastic one against one. They have had an exceptional season. We have an opportunity for revenge for the defeat in the first round. At times, our defending was poor and they were very forceful. They have no obvious weakness, neither in attack nor in defense. Then he spoke about Eric Garcia maybe returning back to FC Barcelona, and this is what Xavi said. The idea is for Eric Garcia to return. Yes, he had a place in my team this year, but he had to leave due to fair play. I didn't want him to leave. Many were saying, why would Xavi Hernandez say that he would welcome Eric Garcia to return? Like, Eric Garcia is not that great. This is the reason why Barcelona is a mid-table club and why they're mid and that everybody's mid and that everything is mid, right? Everybody was hating on this statement. But let me tell you, what else do you expect Xavi Hernandez to say? Do you expect Xavi Hernandez to say, yeah, Eric Garcia has no place at Barcelona. We're fine with Kubarsi. We're also going to be emerging Michel Fayet. Do you expect for Xavi to say that during a press conference and to put down Eric Garcia in that way and to say that a day before they actually meet? Really? So Xavi continues. It is a point of pride for Catalan football that Girona is in the Champions League. Their season has been historic. And then he even spoke about Girona's squad. It is not the same to play for Girona as it is for FC Barcelona. You have more peace of mind. I don't know if they would adapt here. They do have quality players who have played very good football. This kind of does correlate to what I did say previously. Like, it's very different when you play at Barcelona compared to Girona. When you lose at Girona, no one says a damn thing. But when you lose or make a mistake at Barcelona, it's the end of the world. And Xavi Hernandez is saying this to the media. And then he continues to speak about Eric Garcia and Oriol Romeu. And this is what he said. It's very difficult to change this trend. How many people support Barcelona and how many people support Girona? It has nothing to do with it. When you talk to Eric, he has the feeling of being more liberated as a player when he plays for Girona. That's true. It's difficult to change from Girona to FC Barcelona. And so now I want to move on towards the last phase of this video and speak about our most possible starting 11 that we'll face against Girona on Saturday night. And this is going to be the most possible one. Ter Stegen in goal, Koundé, Araujo, Kubarsi, and Cancelo at the back. Our midfield being Gundogan, Fermin Lopez, and Andreas Christensen. I do believe that Fermin Lopez deserves it 100% because of the goals that he does score, because of the pressure that he does apply. I want to see more of him. I can't wait to see what he does against Girona because usually Fermin Lopez likes to really come up under great massive pressure. And then our front three is going to be Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. I would tell you that we should probably put Pedri as our left winger in exchange for Rafinha because this is going to be a possession battle. Like, Girona is going to want possession. They're one of the top possession-based teams in La Liga. But then again, do you want most of the possession or do you want to score more goals? And I believe that in this game, with a team like Girona, knowing that they're also going to be scoring goals, you're going to want to be scoring goals back. And that is why I'm just going to assume that Rafinha will be starting on the left wing. Maybe Pedri comes in later for Rafinha to have 4 total midfielders. But then again, who knows? Maybe Xavi Hernandez just says, you know what? I know that having control of this game, it is the most important thing, but I'm going to be switching Pedri in later in the match for someone like Fermin Lopez, for example. But for sure, Pedri will get his minutes. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.